Doctor, when you talked about vitamin C, for example, as, one of the helpful things for cancer, that's an antioxidant, correct? And then you say we need more oxygen. I think some people still are confused. Well, if there's an antioxidant and we need more oxygen, how do those two come together, and how do we find the balance?
Yeah. First of all, the antioxidant doesn't get rid of the oxygen. It just gets rid of damages done by oxygen. It's like with your car. When you have the gasoline coming into the car, it's a good thing first, but what comes out of your pipe is a bad thing. If you inhale it, you're going to die. So when the oxygen goes into your system and repairs the system, nourishes the system, and so on, there is debris. And these mutated, dead or half-dead cells are called, that's what the antioxidants are going after. And this is why we need the only way to eliminate these potential cancerous cells, these potential mutated cells that have a changed DNA and start to regrow itself instead of the healthy cell. That's what basically the antioxidants are going for. And I don't really think you can really overdose in antioxidants. You might get horrible heartburn, you might throw up a lot, so I don't really think you will do this for a long time. And usually, if you live in balance, I'm not really a friend of too much supplementation. I'm a friend of juicing. Everything that nature created, our body can use. A lot of supplements are so chemically altered or so toxic or filled with fungi, with all kind of bacteria, and it's very, very often very dangerous. So if you juice, preferably organic, because of the pesticides and all these other elements, it is kind of like flushing out the bad and building the new. You don't want to have a house built on a bad foundation. If you have bad concrete, it will crumble one day. And your cells, you don't want to build your cells with bad material. So I suggest to all my patients to have a gallon of water a day with half a teaspoon of sea salt, to eat at least one hard-boiled egg 3 times a week, and have a 70% living diet, raw food diet, to a 30% whatever you want to do. And then we are in this world of urge, that's our instinct. When we have an urge for something, it's usually when the pregnant woman has this urge for a pickle with chocolate cream on it and whatever. It's because the fetus just needs certain building blocks right now. And this is why we have an urge. It's like with chocolate. If you have a craving for chocolate and you just eat as long as the craving goes on, you will not gain weight. It will not have any negative impact. We gain the weight because we say, oh, we opened the entire bar now we need to really finish that, right?
Yeah.
And this is basically where the problem starts, the overeating. But when you have an instinct, a craving for something, it's good for you. You need it. We just need to relearn to know when it is enough, and we need to stop eating just because it's on the plate, and we have been trained to eat everything on the plate. We need to come back to ourselves, believe in ourselves again, feel ourselves again, allow ourselves to love us again. If you love yourself, you're a healthy person, because you will automatically come back to the instinct that leads you back to health. I do not really believe in any outside form. We are using tools for the patients because very often they're at a stage where the body is so broken down that it needs some physical help, some build-up material. But if the person is not in a state of danger of dying within the next couple of days, we do not really historically used any form of supplementation. We just really used the energy level of the person. We corrected eating habits and gave the person goals. Because a goal, if you have your own goal, not somebody else's goal that you try to fulfill, gives you hope, gives you motivation, gives you a reason for existence. And that's what we all need. We need a reason again. We need hope again. We need to believe in ourselves again. We need to create a family again. We need to stick together. Because in the olden days, Scott, we had the great-great-grandmother and the grandmother and the mother and the siblings and the little sister and the big brother and everything. So there was no stress, because whatever you needed, if you needed to cry on somebody's shoulders, you went to your great-grandmother. You know, they understand everything. And they just love you unconditionally. So you're fixed. Then you need a problem resolved, and you ask maybe your older brother or older sister. So that was all there, created by nature. And then, because America became the loneliest country in the world, that's why so many Americans love their animals more than other human beings, because people had to move for their jobs. They have to follow their jobs. So your neighbors changed, your family got ripped apart. And that's when all this negative tendency started, that we do not have the break we need, the mental vacation we need, the love that we need from the inside out and from the outside in. Because unconditional love is something that a mother has for her child, and that's basically what we need to have for ourselves. If you don't love yourself, if you don't take yourself as important as you need to be, as the most important person in your life, how can you help your children? How can you help your spouse or your parents later if they need you? Because you cannot help somebody that sinks into quicksand by pulling the person out, by jumping after the person. You cannot jump after the person and then just think, I can pull you out. No, you have to have stable ground underneath your feet first, and then you can help the other person out of quicksand. So here is the main mistake. You are trained, we are all trained, to take care of others first, and that is absolutely wrong. It's what do they tell you at the airplanes in case of lack of oxygen or pressure? Mm-hmm. Take the oxygen mask on yourself first. Mm-hmm. Because what good are you for your child laying on the floor gasping for air? Mm-hmm. So what good are you for anybody if you are weak, if you are sick? No. Make yourself strong and happy first. Make yourself successful first. And it's so easy for you to help every loved one then.